going to set this one aside, and we are going to bring in the rear diff. Let me get my rags back together here. There she is in all her glory. Make sure you don't misplace these shims. These shims are always on the gear side. What it's doing is shimming the ring gear over towards the pinion, creating a little tighter mesh. Like I said, we'll go over that as we get back into the diff housings with the new bearings. We will start tearing into this thing. We got to clean her up a little bit. She feels like she's got a thump in her, maybe a half broke pin. We're going to have to take a look and see what's going on. It could be nothing. It could be just a worn cup. So let's dig into her and see what she says. Just going to wipe her down here pretty quick. Try not to bend those shims either. If your input cups aren't all smoked out, those shims will fit over the cup, so you should be able to slide them off. In this case, that cup is a little beat, so you know we're working with what we got here. Alright, we got a majority of that cleaned up. What I'll probably do is maybe take the cups out of this one. I might even just rebuild this ring gear. We'll see. Maybe not. Pluck her apart. Now, like I said, this is going to be 50K in this one. Pretty thin. So we're going to clean all this up, give her a good wipe, make sure our gasket is in good shape. Gasket looks good. So we're going to leave that right on the gear. No shame in that game, that's for sure. Same deal, fingernail underneath there. We're going to try to get that to break that seal. Boom, done. She's off. That's all that counts. Any way you have to do it is what it is. Pull our pin. Pull our cup. Oh, she's got a little bore issue, of course. The edge of our output is a little peened over from the pin, so we might have to clean that up with a file to pull that out. We will see. We'll pull this O-ring off before it gets damaged. No sense in cutting an O-ring over a cup that's pretty mangled up. So like I said, it has a burr on the light is awful, but there is a burr on the edge of this, right where the pin has been wobbling back and forth like this in the bore. Creates a burr, and now we have a cup that's reluctant to come out of the ring gear. So we're going to have to deal with that. Sometimes you just touch it off with a file or a Dremel tool or something like that. That's probably what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just touch it real quick with a file, and we'll pull it out. Alright, so that took quite a bit of persuasion. This cup was pretty stuck in there, so I did get it out. I managed to get it out. Like I had said, this, it swelled up, so this output cup was on its way out. This hole is so deformed that, moved enough metal where it swelled right up and it didn't fit through the bore anymore. I had to seriously deburr this with a file, and then I actually drove it out with a chisel. One of those things, it just it happens. Sometimes you need some cups, and that's just the way it goes. Luckily, like I said, I do have cups laying around, so I'm going to start changing out some cups, I guess, as we go here. Something that was kind of unexpected, but it is what it is. It's just part of the game. So let's continue on and get the oil out of this thing. Good enough. Gonna pluck our gear assemblies out. Boom, boom. Get to the bottom of this cup here. Clean some of this oil out. This fluid. Hopefully this cup won't be stuck in there. We will see. Get this gear out. Alright, so we're going to pluck the sun gear out. This one's kind of giving me trouble. There it goes. We got it out. We're going to clean the back of it off. Check it out, make sure no fractures. And wouldn't you know? Okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about. We almost have a differential failure here. And I will show you. Alright, so basically I'm just going to pick it out of here. I don't have any light handy that's going to get you inside this cup. But anyway, here you go. Here's a piece of the pin right here. And we have another piece right here. Alright, so we already had a sheared pin. So now we still have a piece inside that bore. So we need to push that out. So our pin was in 3 pieces. This gear was on the verge of being snapped. Now I had said it had a weird thump in it. Well, this is exactly what you're looking for. When you feel that thump, you got some give somewhere. That pin is yielding. So now we have 2 pieces there, and we have a piece in the output cup. So we need to get that out of there if we can. And most likely, this cup is going to be, this output cup is going to be damaged as well, and probably have to be driven out. It's kind of what happens when they start to shear and peen, and it's just one of those things. Lift that O-ring out of there with a couple plunges up and down on the cup. It will push the O-ring up. And then we're just going to use anything, slide it off. You ain't got to get crazy. I have pliers at my hand, so that's where we're at. Let's see if the sleeve seems to be still tight in the cup, so that's good. The pressed in metal sleeve, that still seems all tight. That's great. So now we just need to get this cup out of here so we can pull this bearing. This one, again, swelled right up. So she ain't going to come through that bore. We're going to have to drive it out most likely. Go clean it up real quick. Same deal. I'll clean it up with a file and then push it out with a punch. I'll be back. Alright, so this one was a little less stubborn, a little less persuasion to get it out. It wasn't as worn as the other cup. Here's the old bearing. We're going to discard that. Same with off the ring gear, the crown gear. I'm going to clean this surface up. That's prepped, ready to go. We can throw a cup in that and assemble that one. Same with this cup here. We're just going to clean the OD of this bearing land. Clean it up nice. Looks good. Both our O-rings are in good shape, so that's a plus. We don't have to worry about replacing those. So we're just going to give them a couple dabs, clean them up. So we're looking for some new input cups here. Fun is. Alright, so I mean, basically we know we have this one here. So we know this is a good one. I have more of them. I have other diffs I'm going to have to tear down. This, I guess, is going to be our candidate. Oh, let's go back to this pin. Totally forgot to show you guys. This is very important. There's still a piece of it in this bore for the output cup. That pin is still in that hole. Here's the other two pieces. Very, very common. These pins should be monitored closely. So, you know, you don't want any catastrophic failure. You'll be buying gear sets and all this. Geez, just get some pins and, you know, make sure you have them on hand for situations like this. We don't need any, you know, downtime. The downtime's awful. So, I'm going to use this other pin that came out of the other cup to push this piece out. Alright, so as you can see, that little chunk is coming right out of there. We'll pluck it. There she is. In my fingers. Right in the palm of my hand. So that's the rest of that pin. Obviously, you know, that's trash. And, you know, we'll discard those. So anyway, I have this cup here. We're gonna throw the bearing on. Throw a new bearing on from over here. And we are going to get this new cup in. New cup is in. This cup doesn't look distorted enough where we can't get the shims over it, so we are not going to worry about the shims right now. But the shims should go on. I'll lead by example. How about that? I'll pull it back apart. We're going to put that there. Techno shims. This is what I've been using. This particular differential did have two of them. That's just the way it was, you know, worked out last time I did them. So anyway, here's the part number if you want some of these shims. Now, basically the size is 13 inner diameter, 16 outer diameter, and 0.1 thickness. 0.1 of a millimeter thick. So, you know, like I said, you know, we end up 0.2 over here on the outside, so that'll work out well. So let's continue on. Like I said, we'll throw some shims on there, and I actually left the other two over on the other side of my basement where my vise is. So I'm just going to steal a couple out of here for basically just so I don't have to go over there. That's funny. So, put this baby back together. See, now we got our shims on there. We got our two shims. We are going to work this cup right in there. Like I said, in theory, if these cups aren't wasted, these shims will go right over it. So you don't have to, you know, do it while you're assembling this. But if the cups are worn, just put the shims on, because you know, bending the hell out of them over here is just going to create problems when you're trying to assemble this thing into the bulkhead. So anyway, shims on. We have one good pin, so we're going to use that pin. The other one we will get out of the bag that I have, the bag of pins I have, and insert that O-ring. Make sure it's seated nicely in the bore. We don't need any, leaky problems. We'll get our pin back in. Throw our gear on. Make sure it seats all the way in. That should be flush with the top of the gear. Output cup should definitely sit flush. Alright, so that's that side. Of course, our shims fell off. I stuck them to the side for now. We're just going to drop them on there. So we know that side of the cup is all set. Now we are after one other cup for this side. We want a newer, cleaner cup. So I am going to have to grab one. Give me a second. So here's another parts differential. So we're going to pull the cups out of that one. And we're going to use those. Nice to have spares. Check this pin. Pin looks good, so we are going to reuse that in that one. Cup came right out, no problem. Simple, simple. Cup is in good shape. So now we have a cup for this side. Beautiful. Alright, so that's what we're going to use. This is going to be discarded for parts. It's going to be just set aside. I have lots of these. I mean, a lot of my friends have these 6S's and stuff, and any of the burnt differentials, I take them, A lot of guys will buy these things on eBay, from like Jenny's or something like that, assembled in a bulkhead. So typically people just throw the damn things out, but I mean, they have so many good parts, so I keep them around as spares. So, I'll build one here and there and have it on the field, so if a differential fails, I can swap it real quick, no big deal. So anyway, let's get back to assembly. She didn't seat, pins off center. I'm just going to drop this in with the pliers here. Yep, bingo. Alright, so we're all back assembled there. Good to go, rock and roll. Alright, so our spiders can go back in. Very, very simple. We'll just get this over with here. Nice and quick. I think you got the gist of the first one I did. So, T-bars are in. They're all seated properly. We're on to putting oil in this thing and assembling. Like I said, we're using 50K. This has a nice nozzle on it. So what I like to do is get it in the corners of the cup. Do the corners first and fill it from the bottom up. It seems to work the best. Takes the least time. So we're going to squeeze this right in there. Give it a good squeeze. And we're going to fill up every corner right to the bottoms of the pins. Alright, so we're going to let that sit for a second. Gonna let this oil hang out for this fluid hang out for a minute. Throw it right in my holder. This is a shock holder I printed. It works great for oils and stuff. Nice little shock holder, you know, when I'm bleeding shocks and stuff like that. Works good for holding the diff fluids, you know, upside down, that thick stuff. Keep it honest towards the bottom. Alright, so our corner's settled in. And we are going to finish filling this sucker up. 50K for the win. It's just what I like to run, guys. I mean, you know, a lot of people like 100, a lot of people like cutting it back, so it diffs out all the time. I personally like the 50. It's just what I run. I will keep these cups. Again, you know, one of those deals where you are broken, this stuff can save the day. So, you know, I like to hold on to stuff like this. Alright, she's all filled up nicely. Still has a little bit of headspace for that sun gear. Give it a little rotation. See how it pulls it right down. Gives you a little more headspace. And then go for the assembly. Alright, and we're just going to finish it up by hand. Nice and snug. We don't want to strip the hell out of it. We just want it to seat nicely, be nice and snug. You know, feeling the bolt out is something that comes over time. Feeling when a bolt's about to shear or about to strip, you know, the bore. You know, just be careful. Don't He-Man it. There's no sense. It's a very small thread, so it doesn't take much to kill them. So there it is. There is the rear differential, ready to rock and roll. Bashcast is definitely underway. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not going to record the front diff. I mean, it's redundancy. You know, we watched the center diff. I did the center diff, and now we got the rear. So there's really no reason to get into the front one. It's all the same. So basically, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you find this useful, or someone finds it useful. Don't forget to get your pins. Alright, the 225 pins. I mean, this is a common thing. This is something everybody should have if they have a 6S Armor product. And don't forget to grab some shims. Like I said, we will go over the shimming process when we install the diffs into the bulkheads. But again, here's the shim part number for the outside bearings on the diffs. You can also use these on the center diff to take some of the slop out of the center diff and the mount. So there it is in a nutshell, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching.